Hey everybody, it's the interview queen Alicia Atout here, and I am very excited to be catching up with UFC Hall of Famer Ken Shamrock. Hello.
Hey, thank you. Appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you so much for taking the time. I'm really excited to have you back on. It has been a minute.
Right, right. It's been a while.
Well, I feel like the most appropriate question is, how have you been and how are you keeping your sanity with all of this craziness going on?
Well, yeah, it's crazy because I like to stay in touch with the Twitter and Facebook. I like to stay engaged with my fans and keeps me from going stir crazy in the house, not being able to go anywhere. There's nowhere to go. So being able to stay connected and be able to talk about things has been fun, but at the same time challenging because, as everybody knows, Facebook and Twitter, you just got some people on there that just are ignorant. They just don't read things properly, or they just take out of what they want to take out of it, or they don't like how you think, and so they get mad at you and they insult you, and you're just talking, right? So it's been fun, but also challenging at the same time because I like to stay engaged and I like to be involved and hopefully the fans appreciate me being involved and knowing how I think and I like to know how they think. We don't have to agree either, but it's just being able to have a conversation, be able to help each other get through the day and enjoy conversation, even debates when you disagree with one another, being able to have those conversations and talk through things without people insulting you.
Yeah.
So that's how I've been doing, keeping my time, staying engaged and having fun. Yes.
Well, I've definitely noticed you've been super active on social media, and you're right. A lot of people, like, you'll say something that makes perfect sense, whether I agree with it or not. I'm like, okay, I see where he's coming from. And people just attack it right away. And I feel like half the time you're out there, like, defending yourself and you're open. You're like, hey, I'm up for talking about it, guys. But people really just jump on it, like, right away. So I guess by now you're just kind of used to it. And the other thing, too, is, half these people wouldn't say this stuff to you in person.
Well, and two, most of them are just saying it just to say it. And they don't even know what they're talking about.
Right.
And a lot of times when I say things, people don't see where I'm coming from because sometimes I'm coming from a way different direction than they are because maybe I have an insight of something that someone had said to me from Washington. Because as we know, as you start wrestling and you get into these bigger venues and you start meeting different people, that you have a little bit more deeper connections with people that are a little more connected, and you get these little tweets here and there from people that are telling you things that are going on and what's happening. And so sometimes I'll say something without mentioning names or bringing up any situations. People will come back and say, what are you, crazy? And I just heard it from someone. And I can't
Yeah.
go, well, yeah, but see, this is where I got it from. So but it's challenging and it's fun. And I wouldn't have it any other way though, because I want to know how people are thinking, and I want to have debates. And we're not always going to be right, including myself. But like I always say, or one of my fans on there who posted a picture of the Gracie thing with the gi and no shoes, basically saying he never would have won, and he said, "Prove me wrong," with a picture, right? And that's kind of me too. That's kind of what I am too. Is I'll make statements or I'll say things and I'll just prove me wrong. Tell me I'm wrong or prove to me I'm wrong. That's to me. I love those engagements. I love being engaged like that. But the thing I don't like is when people are disrespectful. That's when it starts to bother me.
Yeah, that's the line people just shouldn't cross. But when it comes to the internet, they do it all the time.
Yeah, it's what it is, right?
Exactly. Well, I know something you've had a really difficult time finding was an open gym. This was from a couple days ago. So at this point over there, are you completely on lockdown if you've been trying to find new workouts from home? Because I know that's obviously a very important part of your routine.
Yeah, it's funny because everybody chimes in saying, "Hey, lift tires or do push-ups," and I get it, right? I mean, sometimes you just got to go with what you got to go. But right now, I'm trying to
Yeah.
put on some size. I got a big match with Sammy Callahan. I really want to beat the tar out of him. I want to hurt him. I mean, I'm angry at him, so I want to get a little bit stronger. So I go in and I'm pushing 110s and 120s on dumbbell presses. So I'm not going to get that in surgical tubings or push-ups.
Right.
It's just right? And like squats and lat pulls and things of that nature. I'm just not going to get that workout. So I get what they're saying, doing some squats and, the old push-up lines den stuff and that stuff. So I get what they're saying. But sometimes when I try to explain it to them, it's like they still don't get it. It's like, yeah, I'm in a different spot now where I'm trying to get stronger, trying to put more weight on, and I can't do that with calisthenics. But at the same time, I also understand that in the times that we're in right now, that you have to go with what you got. You can't not just do nothing. So that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm figuring it out as we go, just like everyone else. I'm just figuring it out as we go and taking what I can get in whatever time I have.
Well, you've, of course, had such a successful career in both wrestling and MMA, and it's very cool seeing you being able to balance both. But I was curious, going back to the beginning of each craft, was one a lot easier for you to get used to and kind of just get into the world of?
Well, I've always said wrestling was difficult. MMA was something I was good at. I just did it. I was good. I trained hard. I worked. I did everything, but I was good at it. And I didn't have to take a lot of punishment, especially early in my career where I was just taking people out.
Right.
But wrestling, you got to give your body up. And there's things that you have to do. And I got beat up so much more in wrestling because of in 1 week, we would wrestle 4 times in a city, different city every night. And then turn around and do it again in the next week, and then the next week. And then you get 3 days off and you go back out and do it again. And so the punishment on my body was so much more than it was in the MMA world. And so for me, I've always told people, and they kind of look, what, are you crazy? And it's just, but that's the facts. That's the facts of it, is that you have to put so much more time into it, and you have to be in the ring so much more, and you have to be, slammed and hit with chairs and thrown out of the ring and all these things over and over again, that it's like being in a car accident 3 days a week.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting, too, because when it comes to wrestling, you don't know whether you're going to be on the receiving end of the pain or you're going to be giving it. Whereas when it does come to MMA, you have a little bit more control over that. So in your case, you were definitely delivering and, dishing it out a lot more than receiving it.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I recently noticed how you've actually been coining yourself the godfather of pain. So I was wondering, have you always had a very high pain tolerance? Because some of the fights, the wrestling matches I've seen you in, they get so intense and just brutal sometimes.
Yeah, I've embraced it. It's kind of my DNA. It's like I grew up in the streets, I was fighting all the time, and that was just part of, you building yourself. Was that you couldn't be afraid of anything, and when somebody hit you, you turn that pain or whatever that thing is that you have in you into anger and frustration and energy, and you turn around and you go after that guy for hitting you. And so for me, that's kind of what it was. And then of course I became a professional and I started learning how to generate into other positive things rather than just anger and frustration, but being able to still use that same pain and the stuff that you feel when you're getting hit or slammed into positive thoughts, going after your opponent, using it as adrenaline. And so for me, pain is something that I think I have to experience going into a match. And I would definitely say that I have learned over the years on how to really make people suffer. And that's why I use the term, the godfather of pain. I spent my whole life learning how to hurt people, learning how to make people be in pain. And sometimes, depending on who it was, making them suffer.
Well, I'm glad to be on the good side of that, I have to say, Ken. I really want to say thank you so much for hopping on here. It's an absolute pleasure. You are a true legend, and I'm really glad we're able to do this again. So thank you so much.
Well, Alicia, I thank you so much for having me, and we'll see each other again.
Yeah, I really hope so. Everybody, this has been Ken Shamrock. I'm the interview queen, Alicia Atout. Be sure to check out aliciaatout.com for all exclusive interviews and features, and we'll see you next time.
All right. Peace out.